Howdy! Today I will be finally trying V-cut crease for the first time. I've never done one before. This will be interesting for everyone. I have no idea what I'm doing. Luckily, Robert Welsh does, and it is his video, I think it's called Cut Crease for Beginners, that I will be following. I watched it a couple times last night. I think I got a pretty good idea of what to do. I wish I could, I still don't know how to add like a little video inside my video, if that makes sense, just so that you kind of have an idea of what I'm following. I wish I could sort of figure out, I don't know how to do that. So you're just gonna have to trust me. I will obviously link Robert Welsh's video down in the description. I love watching Robert Welsh's videos. He's got a very like logical and no nonsense way of explaining makeup and techniques. It's something that I really appreciate because makeup can kind of seem a little ridiculous if you're just paying attention to the fads on Instagram or whatever. Makeup can kind of seem really complicated, and it's because it's overcomplicated sometimes. So Robert Welsh has this way of kind of just like serving you the basics on a very easy to understand platter. That sounded weird, but it was a compliment, I swear. So first, obviously there's nothing on my face, there's nothing on my eyes. I'm not gonna do my eyebrows because I forgot to before I pressed record, and I don't feel like stopping to do them now. So we're just going with naked brows today. But the brows aren't really the point anyhow. So we're just gonna give her and see what happens. First thing we do is we apply eyeshadow primer from basically the lash line to the eyebrow. And Robert Welsh used the Urban Decay primer potion, I think. I don't have that. It would probably be really expensive for me to get that. So I don't have one of those. What I do have is the glitter primer from Rude Cosmetics and the concealer that I'm going to be using for the cut part of it. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer. So I'm just gonna try to mix the two of them. I'm just gonna add a little tiny bit of this, a little smidge of this with this, just to get a little bit of color, because this, some on my little knuckle there, it does have a little bit of a color to it, but once you like blend it out, the color goes away. So I just want a little bit of color. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of this into on my palm, I guess. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this and add that like that. Now I'm going to take the concealer brush that I'm gonna be using and just mix the two on my hand, and hopefully this will work. If it isn't the most pigmented thing in the world, well, that worked out kind of okay. Alright, so he goes straight from here all the way up, so that's what I'm doing. Again with the mirror and the not looking in the mirror. There we go. Hopefully this primer works okay, because it is a glitter primer, so it's a little extra sticky. Hopefully I didn't just screw myself over. And I did. I literally did. I'm not even 10 minutes into filming, and you're probably not even like 2 minutes or 3 minutes into watching this video, and I've already screwed up. Look. Can you see how patchy that is? Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that off. 3 minutes into the video, we're already breaking out the makeup wipes. Gosh darn it. So I'm just gonna take that off, and I'm gonna go and find my regular Etude House eyeshadow primer and just use that, because I already know I'm gonna screw up like 3 more times at least just on the eyeshadow part. I really didn't want to screw up on the primer, but it happened because I can't help myself. I gotta screw with things. Blinking heck. Let's try this again. Lovely. Robert Welsh does, however, use a lot of it, so. And I tend to go a little extra light on the application of such things. And he went under the, he took it all the way over here and under the eye. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put it under the eye. And now we do the other eye. Next, we're gonna start putting down eyeshadow, I believe. I'm going to be using the Rude Awakening palette from Rude Cosmetics. I don't care what other people say. For the price, they're really, they're not like Anastasia quality. Who cares? It's a really decent palette. I got this one specifically. They have a ton of them. They have a ton of like really cool, kind of like aesthetically unique, like visually unique palettes. I got this one, and yes, I am one of those people who likes to keep the plastic on it for as long as possible. There you go. Oh, yeah, you got a nice shot of my trees. There we go. That's a little better. How about we take the plastic off? Let's take that off. Alright, there you go. I got this one because compared to the ones online, compared to the pictures that I was seeing online, this one seemed a little more on the cool tone side. And I have a hard time finding cooler toned shadows. A lot of them are very warm, and that annoys me. So, there you go. That's what we're working with. In Robert's video, he used something from Lime Crime, the Lime Crime Venus palette. And he was using very warm tones. So I want to try my best to sort of replicate exactly what he did, so that I can have like a, in my mind it makes sense to like replicate as closely as possible exactly what he did, because then I have a better idea of like how close I am to success. So I just want to see if I can replicate it. He used a very, I believe that's an ambulance, and I hope everyone is okay. He used a very warm, well, he went in first with like a, I don't know, like a brown color, like that, just like a light brown, and then like a really warm tone. It was a really reddish brown color, and I don't have an exact match for what he used, but I think this is pretty close. Either this or this. I might mix them. And then he used the darkest shade in the palette that he used. It almost looked black. It almost looked black, but it was a really dark brown, I think. So I'm not sure which one would be better, this one or this one. And then there's kind of like a shimmery something, either this one or this one, that's gonna go on the cut crease part. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. And everything is going to look a lot darker on my skin because I am roughly the color of loose leaf paper. So everything is going to look more dramatic on me probably, which is going to freak me out, but we've both been warned now. So I think I'm going to go in with this guy. And then that, or a combination of these two. Or maybe that one. That one and that one? I'll figure it out. So one of the warmer shades in here. None of them have names, by the way. It's just color. And then probably this one. And then maybe this one on the crease part. Or a combination of this one and this one. That's the plan. That's what we're using. Let's get to it. I'm going to start out with this e.l.f. Blending eye brush. I'm going to take this one here as an all-over base color because I think that's what he does. It's a little difficult for me. It might be my lack of technique, but it's a little difficult for me to make those swirling motions that he says to use in his video because I have so much like excess skin and like fat up here. See it all? It's just, it's a little hard to get a smooth blend going in a circular motion because my skin just, like my skin and the fat underneath it just moves along with the brush, so nothing happens. I have to be really, really, really light and very careful with like how I use the brush. I think that looks pretty okay. Cool, so now we have to choose a dark color. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for this one right here. 4th row down and 2nd from the left. You know, I really like to get more of these palettes because the eyeshadow, at least to me, seems pretty decent. And for the price point, you can't really complain. Yeah, that's red. So I'm going to tap off as much as I possibly can. This is gonna be a disaster, I know it. Mirror down. Find the eye socket right about there. Then start laying down the color. And then he takes it and he runs it under the lash line too, which on me is probably gonna spell trouble because this brush is way too big to do anything cleanly under my eyeballs. So I'm going to trade this for this little gem, just for the under eye part for now, because I don't want that brush to screw things up. So what he does next after you've done that, so you're supposed to make like this V shape, and then you take a big fluffy brush and then you just blend the crap out of it. What do you think? I think I might need to like bring it up a little higher because when you're doing the cut crease for someone with an eye that's more hooded like mine, you have to extend it. He goes over this in the video. You have to extend it a little bit above like where your eye, like you know where your eyelid starts to show when your eyes are completely open. For someone with hooded eyes, you have to make the crease just a little bit above it so that you can see a hint of the cut crease when your eye is open. If I've explained it in a way that makes sense. He explains it very well in the video. I'm not very good at explaining things. For me, in person, I'm always worried about bringing the eyeshadow way too high and then having it like run into my eyebrow. But looking here on the screen, it actually doesn't look too high. So I think I'm going to go back to this brush and just extend it up a little bit. He also makes a point of filling in right here too. Right there. I think that's better. You can't really see too much over here because there's shadow. This one will look better because it's in light more. I waited too long to start filming. My fault. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and do this over here, and I'll be back. Okay. I think they're pretty even. I don't think I screwed up too bad yet. We're gonna move on to phase 3, and that is the darkest color, but first coffee. So I just cleaned the worst of the reddish shade off. Now I'm going to use this one right here, to deepen this part, this general area here. You find your brow bone. For me, I gotta really dig to find it. And then you're just supposed to like really intensify that area. So like take a little bit of that really dark shade and just really push it in there. And then bring it in here. What I found for my eye shape, it's helpful because like I don't have like a visual crease or like brow dip to swishity swoosh my brush across. So what I've found works kind of okay is finding it looking down like this, and once you find it, you put your brush down and then look up. So then your brush is like in there, and then you just do that. I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but this is what seems to work kind of okay for me. So your brush is kind of like stuck in between like your eye fat and your eyelid. And then you're left with this. I think it could be darker, but the only darker color I have is black. And I'm not confident enough in my technique to use black yet. So we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna keep using brown. It's fine if it doesn't look exactly like Robert's. Mr. Welsh's. I just wanna try and get close. So now I'm gonna take that floofy brush and blend it out some more. Can't remember what his looked like. I do think he brought some of that down onto the lower lash line, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take my teeny weeny brush, and he said to like go straight in so it's concentrated right underneath the lash line. I'll try to do that, but I don't know how that's gonna go. That wasn't too bad. But I think that's all I'm gonna do for now to this one, because the creasy part is next. I'm gonna do all the brown that I just did here to this eye, and I'll be back in a jiff. You can see how much more red my cheeks have gotten because I'm stressed out and concentrating so hard. Ay. It annoys me that this one looks darker, but I think that's because there's like more shadow on this side of the room. So I'm trying to resist the urge to make this one darker to match this one, because I know that if I like stand up or something and move to a different part of the room where there's equal light on both sides of my face, it's gonna look wonky. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, all that is there. And now it's time for the crease part. So we're gonna take our concealer and our concealer, that's not a brush, the concealer brush. So apparently, I've seen some people do this. There's this technique where you take like your concealer and you put a tiny dot right here by the lash line, and then look up and then down again, and wherever the concealer hits up here, that's where your crease should be. Like that's the top of your crease, so you just like use that as a guide. Robert Welsh doesn't do that because he's a makeup artist and doesn't need to. So I'm going to pretend that I'm Robert Welsh today. He just says to basically load up the brush, kinda. Make sure there's quite a bit of shenanigans on that there brush. Look straight on to your mirror that you're totally holding in front of. Oh man. And then draw a little, start from the inner corner and then draw a little bit above. It's gonna be hard because my eyeballs, man, they don't make it easy. So I'm gonna start from the inner corner and then just slightly overdraw the teensiest bit. And I hope that it works. And then you're just kind of supposed to trace, I guess. Like you just follow the natural line of your eye. Man, if I screw up all that work I did on the blending and crap, done. Okay, and he says to stop kind of like 3/4 of the way over. So I think that's 3/4. And now we can finally look down and just start filling that in. So now you're just supposed to blend it out a little bit. Fix their mistakes that you just made. And there's your cut crease. Yay. Sorry if I don't see more shooketh. I feel like if I get too excited I'm gonna screw myself over, because now I have to do that over here. There we go. The line on this side up here is a little bit more cleaner than this one, but I'm not going to worry too much about it, because if I do, I'm just going to keep fixing it and fixing it and fixing it, and I'll be here for another hour just fixing things. So I don't think I did too bad. Now what we do, now that we've got our creases there, we are going to take so I'm going to take this brush here. This is the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. Okay, in his video he used like it was almost like a skin color, but I feel like this one up here would be too pinky, but this one over here is like too champagne-y, you know? So I think I'm gonna mix them. Let's swatch and see. There we go. That's the pinkier shade, and that's the more gold shade. Which one do I want on my eyeballs? I think I'm just gonna mix them, because I can't make up my mind. Moment of truth, kids. Now I'll just press that onto the lid. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe it just takes some getting used to. They look really pretty with my eyes closed. Oh boy. Okay. So now, what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to take a little bit of that reddish shade that we used, or that I used, and just sort of blend that into the shimmer at a diagonal, he says. So that's what I'm doing. Kind of like that. I forget what this is supposed to do, but there is a point to it. Like that. There you can see it's kind of like a bloop. There we go. How do they look? There they are, in all of their glory. I think I did pretty okay considering I followed all the steps. I think it's just weird seeing it on my own face. So what he says to do next is to like use concealer to clean up this under eye area. I don't feel like it, so I'm gonna use this makeup wipe just to clean up underneath. There we go. Everything looks nice and harsh. So I'm just going to use this to just blend it out. Great, so let's just soften that line a bit. And the last step, in his video, he applies false lashes, well, mascara, false lashes, and an eyeliner along the lower waterline. I'm gonna do the eyeliner, but I've never used false eyelashes or tried to apply them or anything before. I'm just going to put on a little bit of eyeliner and mascara, and then I think that'll be it for me. Okay, so I got this the Beauty People Fast Tint Gel eyeliner in black. So I'm just going to use that along the waterline there, if it will cooperate. By Jove. I haven't done a eyeliner in my waterline for so many years. I used to all the time, back during my emo days. Actually doesn't look too bad. Part of the reason why I don't do my eyeliner like this is because my eyes are super oily and super watery. So when I do eyeliner like this, it never stays. It like runs to the inner corner and the outside corner, and it just kind of makes a mess of things. But for the purposes of this video, it looks quite nice. So last step is mascara. The mascara of the week is the Tony Moly Double Needs Pang Pang Mascara. Waterproof. There's a big angry cloud up there. Shoot. Let's get some mascara on these bad boys. You know what? Probably would have been smart to curl my lashes first. Alright. There we have it. My first cut crease ever. You know what? It's growing on me. I was a little unsure at first, but I actually kind of like it. It worked. I followed the steps and I ended up with a cut crease, and I don't know. You tell me. Let me know how I did. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm actually very happy with that. It looks weird on me because I've never seen a cut crease on my face before. So it's just weird to see this area of my eyeball just like cut, like just so sharp like that. Like the two different colors just so very, it's a very stark change. I usually like to keep things like very light and very blended when I do eye makeup that isn't for a video. For my first try, I don't think that's too bad. Ooh. The lighting's a little better here. I can actually see myself doing this more often because, like, it wasn't that difficult. I make it seem difficult because I'm an anxiety-ridden person. If I do this a couple more times, like practice a couple more times, I can actually see myself really liking this look. Yeah, I just need to practice a little bit to improve my technique. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do check out Robert Welsh as well. He makes awesome videos. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!